right, anyway, we're going to get this show rolling. I am very happy about today's episode. I think it's going to be great. So let me get the audio going here, and we will be set. Don't forget to push record. One last check of the memory card. I've done that before. I see the little plug-in showing that it's plugged into electricity. I've done that before too. I let the battery, it sucked the battery dry, and I almost lost everything in mid-record. So there's a lot that has to go into all of this. It is not completely simple. So, all right, here we go. Stoners, welcome to another edition of Sticks and Stones. I am your host, Brent Elrod, coming to you from the lovely fall confines here on the patio at the No Shoes Bar and Grill, deep in the heart of the Republic of Texas. It is an awesome fall day here. The leaves have turned. There's not a lot of trees that have brilliant color to them here in Texas. But the ones that do, boy, they sure make up for all the other ones. And I need to get out and pick some of these leaves so I can go find exactly what these are. I know about the maples. You know, maples just turn a beautiful color in fall, whether you have the scarlet maple or the yellow maple or bright orange maple or whatever. They're beautiful colors. But there's also some much larger trees that are not oaks that I can't quite see the leaves well enough to figure out exactly what they are. And I may be a country boy, but I'm not country boy enough to be able to tell you what a tree is by the bark. I do know some people that can do that, but I mean, I can tell you, you know, like if moss grows on the north side of a tree, the moss grows on the north side of a tree, so find the moss and that's north, but that didn't always happen. My grandmother was one of those big people like that. She would tell you stuff like, if the birds hover low to the ground, there's going to be falling weather. Like, what are you talking about? Is the sky going to be falling? No. Like you drive by the birds and they're like down on the edge of the highway and they fly up and then come right back down. It's going to rain or snow within like a day or two. And she was usually right. Ants will cover the hole to their anthill. They'll shut the door if it's going to rain. I guess that's what we all do, right? Keep the doors and windows closed when it's raining. You don't want to get wet in the house. So ants do that too. Anyway, I'm getting way off topic here. I have a wonderful show for you today. I am pairing, I guess you could maybe consider this one of the ultimate cigar experiences. In this captivating video, I'm going to let you join me in this exquisite combination of the robust Camacho Triple Maduro black label, I guess you could say. A lot of people just go by the colors of the label, with the prestigious George Dickel Barrel Select. I think it is going to be a great matchup, so stay tuned and prepare to embark on a sensory journey like no other, where the rich flavors and expert craftsmanship collide to create an unforgettable experience. Am I building this up enough? I'm trying to. I'll say it again. I think it's going to be a great pairing. And so right after this, we are going to pop the cork, cut the stick, and get to toasting. Now, Camacho is a very well-known name in the cigar world. I'd say it's probably one of the top well-known brands on the planet. And they are known for making some very, very great cigars. I'm excited about this cigar, and kind of emerging out of uh, the Honduran uh, boom, the cigar boom in the 1990s. Aficionados kind of became aware of Camacho, and they were known for their spicy, full-body taste and their budget-friendly price, which is very important. In 2008, brand president and founding family member Christian Eiroa, E-I-R-O-A, you may recognize that name, uh, sold the company to the Swiss-based Davidoff of Geneva. The folks at Davidoff spent a treasure chest on a new Honduran factory that they call Camp Camacho, and kind of the rest is history. They have really taken off and are doing very well across the globe. Now, this particular cigar is a Robusto 5 by 50 on the ring gauge. Visually, as you can see if you're watching on the live stream, it is a very dark chocolate brown. Um, it has tight but visible seams, minimal veining, and the veining it has is very faint. There's no really pronounced veining on these leaves. And it has a rather large double cap. The filler and binder on this particular stick is Dominican, Honduran, and Brazilian Maduro blends. And the wrapper is, as so many of our cigars here lately have been, a beautiful San Andres Maduro from Mexico. I love the San Andres leaves. Now, on the nose, I get some notes of kind of like hickory wood, some kind of salty, dark chocolate. You know how some of the chocolates come with salt on it. And so you're getting kind of that salty chocolate aroma in your nose as you're eating it. It's kind of that same thing. Sometimes I struggle to really try and visualize this stuff for you. And I'm also getting some like some spicy, like black pepper. All right, let's give it a cut here. I am going to use my Cassetti multi-cutter on the V set, or V cut, kind of my traditional cut. I think everybody has their own cut that they're, you know, really partial to. Another great cut there too, brought to you by the folks over at Cassetti. And on the cold draw, I'm getting an earthiness and something along the lines of plums and stone fruit. And I'm also getting a little bit of black pepper on the draw. Now, on to George Dickel Barrel Select. This is a Tennessee whiskey, and I can honestly say I have never had George Dickel in my life, at least that I remember. There could be some late nights where things got a little fuzzy, but to my knowledge, I have never tried George Dickel, and this is one of their higher levels, so I'm hoping I'm starting out with a really big boom. Now, it is a beautiful bottle. For those of you watching on the live stream, you can see that that is a beautiful bottle. It is 43% alcohol by volume, so it's 86 proof. It's aged 10 to 12 years. The mash bill is 84% corn, so I'm expecting it to be pretty sweet. And then it's the rest of it is 8% rye, so it may have a little touch of spice to it, and 8% malted barley. It goes for $35, $40 for a fifth, and the distiller, of course, is George Dickel. Now, let's put a little in a glass and see what it looks like. Beautiful, beautiful cork pop. Love those cork pops like that. If there are any distillers that are listening in and your brand uses a screw-on cap. Shame on you. There is a lot of joy that comes out of a very nice, I'm telling you, I love to hear the cork pop on a bottle. Now, as those of you on the live stream can see, this is a really beautiful kind of light golden caramel, light caramel color with maybe some tinges of yellow in it. It's got decent legs to it. On the nose. It's now the 86 proof. You expect it to be a little on the weaker side as opposed to being a roundhouse punch. But this does come in a little weak on the nose, but round and sweet. It kind of starts off with some caramel and milli vanilli, some vanilla, and maybe some toffee, and then a little corn. Now, when you kind of, I don't know, sift through the corn husks in the glass, you pick up maybe something along the lines of some sweet, like saltwater taffy, some cherries. There's a lot going on in this glass. I mean, every time I put my nose in it, it's coming out with something different. And some hints of butterscotch and oak. I'm really kind of getting excited about this. All right. I can't wait any longer. Here we go. Be gentle on me. That is really good, and I'll tell you that the nose might be a little on the weaker side, but it makes up for it in the flavor. I mean, it just bursts into your mouth. There's no waiting around. It doesn't build up speed. It goes from 0 to 60 in about 1.2 seconds. The caramel kind of starts us out, but then the corn comes rolling in pretty quick behind it, and kind of in amidst all of this corn and caramel, you're also picking up some notes of vanilla and oak and a little bit of clove, and then you're picking up a little bit of that rye spice, and there's kind of a strange like fennel-like spice that's kind of milling about in the background. And that's kind of playing tag with some mint. There's also just a touch of mint in there. Not any really particular mint like spearmint, peppermint, whatever, but it's just kind of a minty, I don't know, a little minty burn, I guess. This is probably one of the best whiskeys I have tried in a while. And I mean, I've tried some good ones. I've had some really good matchups here lately. Wow. That is just wonderful. I don't know. I mean, I'm almost at a loss for words. So let's just go ahead and move on before I completely make a fool of myself stammering around. Now, the mouthfeel. The mouthfeel is kind of soft and creamy, but there's also kind of a refined aspect to it. It's not a real coaty kind of oily finish or oily mouthfeel, but it does let the flavor linger in your mouth, and that leads you to the finish, and the finish is really long and it's very satisfying. Kind of starts out with some real hefty notes of caramel and vanilla, and then it kind of fades into a more of like a cinnamon with a touch of corn and oak in there, possibly the oak being a little bit of charred oak. Uh, I, I don't know why I've never tried this before. This is a really, really great spirit. I'm going to go ahead and get this stick fired up. But I'm going to, because the band, I almost dropped it, those of you on live stream can see how large the band is compared to the stick. Because the band is so wide on it, I'm going to go ahead and take the band off before I light it, because I will not smoke it very far before it would have to come off anyway. So let's go ahead and remedy that right away. All right, I'm using my trusty Rocky Patel 5 torch, the Envoy. Love that, love this lighter. I use it, well, basically, I think every time I smoke a cigar, whether I am recording or not. You can find a link to it in the description of this podcast, this episode. Once the podcast, once the audio posts a little later in the week, because you definitely should get you one of those. I love it. Every time I go to the cigar shop, it's in my pocket. Every time I come out here to record, it's on the table. I think those of you on live stream could probably tell there was a really large amount of smoke coming off the stick at the light. I'm getting some really full-bodied notes of like dark chocolate and espresso and some hints of earthiness. It's complex, but it's got this smooth character about it that just, um, I don't know, it's just kind of enticing. Let's try them together. Oh yeah, the stick just perfectly complements the the bold and complex flavors in this George Dickel Barrel Select. The whiskey is just outstanding, and there's between the two here, we've got just a symphony of flavors going with caramel and vanilla and some spice, and then it's just kind of this beautiful, harmonious blend of flavors, like you would get in a really good symphony, a really good piece of music. You know, I mean, I'm a country boy, and I listen to country music, and hey, all of this, I love, Kenny Chesney and everything. Love the beach music, but I do appreciate classical music as well. So, I, as this George Dickel is, I am very complex. So, hmm, I think this was just and I wasn't, I go into these pairings thinking that it's going to be good, and sometimes it's a letdown, but not this one. Oh no, these two are wonderful together. Whether you are a seasoned aficionado or whether you just are kind of a curious newcomer to cigars and whiskey, these two are definitely a good choice. The George Dickel is not overpowering. It's 86 proof. It's very easy drinking, and the cigar the same. It has bold flavors, but it's not like an ass kicker, if I can say that on here. Anyway, uh, it's not going to knock you down with nicotine. Now, don't go trying to suck it down like you're smoking a Marlboro. There's my PSA for the day, my public service announcement. Don't try to smoke a cigar like you're smoking a Marlboro Light. Definitely don't want to do that. If you're a newcomer, don't do that. That will end badly for you. Hmm. All right. Well, my senses are captivated, and I don't really. I'm just like I'm afraid if I keep talking, I'm just going to make a fool of myself, which does happen from time to time. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to burn this stick down to the halfway mark, and then I will come back and give you an update. All right, live stream folks, it's just us now. So those other people, you know. I've smoked some Camachos, uh, but I think this is probably one of the best that I've ever had. Uh, I think I did. I don't remember what the title, what it was called, but I think I did one time that had the like sky blue kind of band on it. Uh, I have to go back and go into the vault and check in the archives and see, but I'm pretty sure I've paired one before. But this one is a very, very good one. It's kind of a slow burn, a little wavy, but more like a natural wavy as opposed to there's something wrong with it. It kind of like the a calm motion, just some little waves. That's all it is, just some little waves. Hmm. This turned out to be a really, really great afternoon. So, how's everybody liking the show? Leave me some comments. Love to know what you think. Am I doing a good job? I tried to get a little more descriptive in this one. Uh, Sorry, my shoulder's a little sore. I went to the gym this morning. I don't work out with weights yet. I am I'm still just doing the elliptical, but I mean it does work your joints, because I always get on the one that's got the ski poles, and you know my body's a lot older than my age is. I've put it through a lot. Some of that's a story for another time, maybe a few more glasses of George Dickel Barrel Select, but you know, uh, I was I am a retread. I've been married twice. The second time was a keeper. Wonderful. But I did have some time in there where I was doing a lot of shopping between number one and number two. And been to Iraq, been to Afghanistan, pretty much been shot, stabbed, blown up. Body's taken a lot of abuse. Watching this video, I think it was on Instagram. I've seen it on a couple of different platforms. There's this guy, he looks like he's a Viking, you know, and he he's standing outside in the woods, you can tell, snow, and he's got these hatchets in his hand, but the blades are like super broad and elongated, kind of like what you think of as a battle axe, but cut down to like hatchet size. And all he's wearing is like some stretchy underwear, and like the athletic boxer brief kind of things. And then he like clanks the thing. Of course, he's big, he's bulked up, and ripped abs and all that. And he like and clanks his hatches together and whirls around, and he's standing at the top of a waterfall, and he jumps off, and there's a hole that looks like it's about 10 feet across in the ice, and he's dropping like 40 feet. And yeah, the caption was something about what reason, something about why would you not do this? What would keep you from doing this? So I replied, and I said, well, 3 degenerating discs in my lower back, 1 bad hip, 2 bad knees, the fact I don't look like Sven, the Viking, and I don't have a fear of heights, but I do have a fear of hitting something harder than I am on the way down. So, but hey, God love him. You know, go for it, brother. And I guess I should say that he fell in through the hole in the ice and into the water. So I didn't even say anything about the fact that, well, it's cold and I would not be out there in my underwear. So, you know, I'm not as hot-natured as I used to be. I used to wear like shorts and short sleeves in the wintertime, but not so much anymore. Hey, speaking of short sleeves, see, I meant to do this at the beginning, and it's really, you know, I get caught up, and then I had the little technical issues with the Bluetooth that connects my phone to the audio board, and couldn't figure out why I couldn't get it to connect, and that's because I hadn't pushed a little button on the side of the Bluetooth thing that I plug in on my Zoom PodTrack P8 audio board. I think I need to do I'll get back to the shirt in just a minute. I think I need to do like a short video series on the right moves to make if you're wanting to open your own podcast, if you're wanting to launch your own. Because I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. Things that I shouldn't have bought, or things that I thought were going to work out and it didn't, or things that weren't any good, you know, whatever the case was. Yeah, I was thinking about this the other night. I'm like, you know what, I'll do a little like series. But anyway, all right, back to the shirt thing. Short sleeves. I am back into the Toasted Palm Stetson from the folks over at Pinto Ranch. You need to go see them. Get you one of these Toasted Palm Stetsons. Man, I love it. It's great. I love it. But I am wearing my Freedom Fatigues Come and Take It Gonzales Cannon t-shirt. That's how pleasant it is here in Texas today. And it was like 40 this morning and down into the 30s last night. But now it's pretty pleasant. I mean, it's probably in the mid to upper 50s. So, you know, but this shirt, man, it's soft. I know I look like I'm rubbing my boobies, but I'm not. I'm feeling the shirt. You know, shirt's really nice. And then on the left sleeve, it's got the American flag with Freedom Fatigues on it. Freedom Fatigues, like me, is veteran-owned. And you need to go see the folks at Freedom Fatigues. You can find a link on our website. And if you use the code Sticks-n-Stonez 20, Sticksnstonez 20, all crammed together, all small letters, you get 20% off when you put that pay code in. Definitely go see the folks at Freedom Fatigues. You'll be helping out a fellow veteran. That's one of the main reasons I got involved with them is I always try to help out anywhere I can, try to help out my fellow veterans. And you need to do the same. You know, they give up a lot. I gave up a lot. I did 2 combat tours, and I'm still paying for it today, 20 years later, and will always. That's just the way it is, you know, and that's the way we are. We don't complain about it, but, man, I always take the opportunity. I figure if I buy something, that I'm just helping them out. I'm telling them thank you, even though they're giving me something in return. So go see the folks at Freedom Fatigues. You can find them on my website, Sticks-n-Stonez.com. and put in the Sticks-n-Stonez 20 pay code during checkout. Get 20% off. Man, can't beat that. Happy holidays. So, we're not making a whole lot of progress here. I'm doing a whole lot of talking. I'll tell you, this is going to be just a completely unforgettable experience. I am very, very pleased with the way the Camacho uh, Triple Maduro. This is my first Triple Maduro cigar uh, that I know of. I haven't knowingly smoked one. So, and I have to say, it's probably one of the darkest wrappers I've ever smoked. I may have smoked an Oscuro around there along the way somewhere, um, but I just can't recall. And the Oscuros are almost black. I definitely want to. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And I just realized while I was sitting here, one thing I did forget was to bring my remote control out so I could turn the TV on. So I generally keep the TV, watch sports something, Sports Center, da-da-da, whatever, just to, have something to kind of keep my attention because I have my little sound thing here up in front of me that kind of helps. I know you can probably hear the pool bubbling in the background. There's a little fountain in the spa, but this at least shields some of it from you. It's got the foam in it, the little pyramids that stick out, so I can't really see anything. And then I have my camera, my cell phone here, and I hope this is looking really good. I've upgraded to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and it has been taking some really great pictures. So I'm hoping the front side camera here that's facing me, where I can actually see what's on the screen, I hope that's coming in as a better picture than I was getting out of my old phone. I'm really trying to get some upgrades done. I do have a new, I know this is way too technical for a lot of you to, I didn't really want to know that about your show, but I've got a new tripod coming for the phone, and it will actually, it's motorized and will actually rotate 360 degrees. You just push a button. So I'm kind of trying to step up my game a little bit. I'm still trying to talk Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez into a storage shed bar. I think it's a great idea. She's not so taken on it. But we have a spot right out here. We've got, I think I've said before, we've got bigs and littles. We've got adult kids and we've got early teenagers. Both the early teenagers are cheerleaders. We got a trampoline out here that they hardly ever touch. We said something about it the other day about maybe getting rid of it, and like 2 nights later, they're spending the night on it. But anyway, it's 12 feet by 8 or 10 feet, something like that. I think probably 8 by 12. And it sits on the concrete at the end of the pool. And there's about 6 feet between it and the spa. There's plenty of room to walk around, to the back of the pool and all that. So it's not like it's taking up all this space, but I'm like, hey, if we took that down and we got a shed, a storage shed that was like 12 feet long and about 8 feet wide, I could turn that into a bar with like some raising the walls. There'd be cutouts in the walls that they would shut down and seal up. So it'd be sealed up when they're down, but then you open it up and it's just like an outdoor bar. And you'd have like a bar top, a wooden bar top that would hinge down once the doors were up or once the little window things were up. And you have the bar inside, maybe a dry sink where you could just pour liquids in. It just runs out onto the ground behind it. And I can get like a little countertop nugget ice maker, nugget ice, Sonic ice. It's the best stuff for making frozen drinks. And I am just talking up a storm. And then I can line the entire thing inside in cedar. See, hey, you cigar smokers, you see where I'm going with this, right? Then, when I have the doors down, have a little like bar at the back of it, and that be where it not be against the wall, but it be out 4 or 5 feet from the back wall, so that I can get around behind it, and then I can move this show from outdoors to indoors, and I don't have to smoke cigars in the house, which Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez is never going to allow. And I don't blame her. I mean, even if I was single, I don't think I'd do it. If I did, I'd like try to confine it to one room. But she She doesn't want that, which is fine with me. I'm perfectly happy. As long as Mama's happy, I'm happy. But I'm still working on her. I'm like, that would be an awesome thing. The way I see it, I've got it all pictured in my head. It'd be great. I think she has a different picture of what it would look like, and that could possibly be a more accurate picture, because I really have it being grandiose. Hmm. Wow. I really cannot tell you why I have never tried George Dickel before. They were established in 1870, so they were born before I was. I mean, I drank a lot of different stuff when I was, teens and 20s, mainly teens, but it was typically whatever I could afford, which was more than likely Evan Williams or Old Number 7. Or by the time I was like 17, I had a beard and I looked like I was over 21. So I kind of had a side hustle. I lived in a dry county. For those of you that don't know what that is, that means that there is no liquor in that county. County I was in, the only place you could find liquor was at the lodges, like the Elks Lodge and the Eagles Lodge and the VFW and that kind of thing. And you had to be a member. And then later on, as the bigger restaurant chains began moving into town, they were like, we need to get around this somehow. Okay, well, we'll have a membership. So you go into Olive Garden or Red Lobster or wherever, and they're like, and you order like, oh, I want a glass of wine. And they're like, well, you have to join our club. Oh, well, what does that mean? Well, it's $1, and we'll give you a card that says you're a member of the club, and then you can buy alcohol. Stupid. But there were no liquor stores, no buying beer in convenience stores, none of that. It was dry. And so you had to go to the county line. And no matter what direction you went in, as soon as you crossed over the county line, there was a liquor store. And so friends of mine that did not look as mature as I was, they would say, hey, can you go to the line and buy something for us? Yeah, it's going to cost you. I wasn't going to do it for free because it was like a 40-mile round trip. So generally, it was like a bottle of Evan Williams or a bottle of Jack Daniels or maybe a bottle of rum. But there was a lot of Evan Williams and Jack Daniels back then. So, and Mad Dog 2020. Mad Dog 2020. And it's not, I don't think it's Mad Dog anyway, but that's what we called it. That was the stuff that make you drive your car into a house. Yeah. That was super cheap flavored wine, like triple berry, harvest apple, stuff like that. It's actually still around. I thought it was long gone, but no, you still see advertisements for it here and there. I was like, I thought that place was out of business after we grew up, and actually had money to go buy stuff. I have to say, as I'm smoking this and we're nearing the halfway mark, uh, it has not been a lot of change in the flavor profile. It's still those same kind of flavors that there were in the beginning. I've been really surprised. I figured maybe there would be something else come out, but I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I mean, you can depend on it. The flavors that are there are wonderful. Um, it's just usually, as you smoke a cigar, you get near the halfway mark, kind of changes a little bit, and then once you get closer to the end of the cigar, it maybe changes a little bit again. But this one is pretty much staying true to form, which is great if you love consistency. You know, uh, you know that the first puff is going to be just like the last. We'll see if that holds up. I mean, This is really a, I mean, it's an excellent cigar. Probably probably one of the best cigars I've smoked this year. I mean, I've smoked some, I mean, the Rocky Patel 60, the Padron 64, and even the Padron 26. I mean, those are like super top of the list, but this is getting up there pretty close. This is a really good stick, and it is blending perfectly with this George Dickel. I got a little industrious on that one. It got a little smoke inhaled. Wow. But it is still, I mean, that is just a beautiful ash stack right there. I mean, beautiful. So, well, we're getting close to the halfway mark. So I'm going to go ahead and let you folks go. I know you've got a lot of stuff to do on a Saturday afternoon. This is Saturday, so I'm actually getting to it a day ahead of time, even though I might really get industrious and see if I could come up with a pairing and maybe do another one tomorrow. That'd give me a buffer episode that I could, be in advance. I have to see what I've got in the humidor and what I've got on the whiskey shelf. So the whiskey shelf is pretty full. And actually, I'd like to try this George Dickel with some other sticks, definitely. And I'd like to try this sitting here thinking about it, because we're getting quite a bit of coffee and chocolate and espresso kind of like that coming off the stick. The Dalmore 12. That would be a really good scotch that might go with this stick. I might have to do that a little later. Not right now, because I don't like doing the same stick or bottle too close together. I like to spread them out. And there's so many other things out there that I haven't tried yet. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let you people go on live stream. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please hit like, subscribe, share, notify wherever you're watching this, because I need your help in getting the algorithms to go the right way so that this show moves up the list. I am one of the only people that does this: pairs alcohol and cigars. I've got lots of friends in the business that they smoke cigars, they review cigars, and I have lots of friends in the business that they review whiskey or liquor in general or whatever. But very few people are doing both. But I need to get higher in the algorithms. So, like, subscribe, share, notify, all of that stuff. Ring all the bells. Blow all the whistles. Blow them all. I think this has maybe been a little bit more of an enjoyable episode for those of you here on the live stream. I've tried to be a little more animated and a little more descriptive, and I'm hoping this is going to work out really well, because I'm really kind of catching traction, and I want to now step it up and really take hold. So go to the website, sticksnstonez.com, STICKSNSTONEZ.com. You can see blog posts. I did a 10 whiskeys for Christmas presents blog post. So if you have a whiskey lover in your family, or boss you're going to buy for, or whatever, there is a little bit of something for everybody on that list. It was not a top 10. It's just ones I picked out because I wanted something from a little bit of everywhere. So there's bourbons on the list. There's like American whiskeys that are, like Texas or outside of Kentucky bourbon. There's plenty of Scotch on the list. There's Irish on the list. There's Japanese on the list. Japanese whiskey is Japanese and Irish both are really highly underrated. I think maybe Irish more than Japanese. I think Japanese whiskey has caught a pretty good following, but Irish whiskey, people don't really think about that as a sipper or mixing with a cigar, and it does very well. Depends on what you get and what you blend with, what you pair with. But Irish whiskey is some great whiskey, and there's so much out there. Redbreast has been taken the place by storm. It's a little higher price compared to Jameson's or Bushmills or whatever. But you know, try some Irish whiskeys. But go read up, go to the blog, read about the Irish whiskeys and the Japanese whiskeys and the scotches and all that. What I did was I gave you a little description of the distiller, gave you information about the spirit, kind of like I do here with these were all spirits that I have reviewed in the past. So I had personal experience with them, and I gave you my personal experience. So it's a fairly long post, but go look it up. If you have a whiskey lover to buy for, or if you're just looking for something new that maybe you haven't tried, there might be something on that list that you haven't tried yet. So anyway, until we get to be together again, keep your sticks dry, your stones cold, and have a great day.